bill. The big deal on this is it finally would settle who is going to be the regulator over cryptocurrency. A lot of other things in the bill as well.
Well, this should serve as a wake-up call. We had 2/3 of the House of Representatives vote in favor of clarity for crypto, or vote in favor of repealing a Biden administration rule on crypto.
Doesn't need to exist. And that's why I say, and I was saying to one of the organizers, even before we stood up on this panel, cryptocurrency does not seek to replace currency. It's a bad name. Cryptocurrency seeks to replace banking.
Or a terrific innovation that will become ubiquitous way for people to transact and expand and enhance the dollar dominance.
We're building an institution, a super nimble global institution.
I have an idea on how to make Bitcoin that doesn't require mining. I think mining is wasteful because it uses a lot of electricity. So if we can figure out how to do it without all the mining, that would be great. So I said, okay, that sounds great to me. So I paid David Schwartz his salary, who's still to this day the CTO of Ripple.
It's growing. And I keep saying to people, you have to understand, these countries are coming together because they want to discard the United States.
Know what you hold?
Enjoy the ride, pal.
It's the XRP Army.
Welcome back to some more Moon O'Clock news. Shout out to the latest up. We got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at $2.64 trillion, down about 3.2% in the past 24. We got XRP in that number 8 spot right around 51.52 cents. Stellar XLM 10 cents. We got BTC right around 67K ETH, 37 hundo. We got Flare Networks right around 0.027. Axelar right around 88 cents. XDC 0.0357. Songbird 0088. We got Stronghold at 008. Zahao Networks right around 12 cents. Evernote 24 cents. We got Dark Defender to pop things off. The House of Representatives passed the landmark crypto legislation yesterday, the FIT21 bill. ETFs are loading. RLUSD was born. A lawsuit decision is soon. Meanwhile, in accordance with our Elliott Waves Fibonacci time zones, say we must commence the break between January and June based on a 6-month time frame. We got financial services. GOP Chairman Patrick Mahoney joined CNBC to discuss yesterday's historical bipartisan vote on the landmark FIT21.
Henry, let's talk about this bill. The big deal on this is it finally would settle who is going to be the regulator over cryptocurrency. A lot of other things in the bill as well, but that is what's kind of kicking up some of the dust and some of the Democratic opposition. You did get a lot of Democrats to vote for this bill, but on the opposite side, you've got President Biden issuing a policy statement saying they're not in favor of this, not necessarily going to veto it. The SEC chairman opposed to it, and some other Democrats as well who say that the CFTC is not going to be up to snuff and ready to actually do all of the authoritative work it would take. Where do things stand right now? What happened?
Well, this should serve as a wake-up call. We had 2/3 of the House of Representatives vote in favor of clarity for crypto. It creates a legal framework giving the SEC a proper role and the CFTC a proper role, rather than the conflicting set of regulatory actions that those two agencies have taken over the last 10 years. Congress settles it, and it settles the dispute. It settles what is a digital asset, gives a legal framework for trading and the purchase of those assets, and I think it's an important thing. This was a vote that included 71 Democrats across the ideological spectrum. That should be the wake-up call to the Senate. That should be the wake-up call to the administration, and in sound policy. So that's the message today, and the outcome of that vote yesterday is that the Senate needs to take action so we have legal clarity and so we can catch up to the rest of the world and be competitive in the world of digital assets.
It has been a long time coming. This is a crazy turf fight that we feel like we've been watching to kind of play out. But you don't have necessarily support in the Senate at this point. What are the odds of anything getting picked up in the Senate? What are the odds of this passing in the Senate?
Well, look, last week we passed a Congressional Review Act, repeal of really an adverse ruling by the current regime of the SEC on how you hold crypto, how regulated financial firms hold crypto. It's a very particular bill. It's about accounting standards. We got 21 Democrats in the House. Yesterday, we got 71 for crypto regulation. Then it went to the Senate, this accounting repeal. And we had over 10 Democrats in the Senate, including Majority Leader Schumer, vote in favor of repealing a Biden administration rule on crypto. So don't count the Senate out. I think they have a huge opportunity here. I think you have a lot of interest with the bipartisan Senate leadership between Sinema and Gillibrand on the Democrat side and Lummis on the Republican side. I think there's a huge opportunity with the leadership of Chair Stabenow on the Ag Committee and Ranking Member Bozeman. So I think there's a huge opportunity for us to actually make law. We've gotten much further an election year on policy than I expected. And I'm so focused on just landing deals wherever we can, no matter the political environment. And yesterday's a good statement on that.
Drain the swamp. Free the standard. The House passes the Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act with overwhelming bipartisan support. Next stop, Senate. Big Brad Garland House says, well, this certainly has aged well. Today, more than ever, we're seeing that political liability against her has been to the Biden administration. It's the reason why we saw 71 Dems cross the aisle and support the FIT21. We're just getting started. The best is yet to come. Crawl, walk. Then we rock it. We got one from Rob Cunningham, The Cool Show. Hear this, fire. Global chaos has erupted because the world's central banking system has been defeated.
The core things that banks have done since the 1300s, those are going to go away, 100%. And let's just be clear what I mean by that. The reason that we even have banks originated in Italy around the year like 1340, all right? And the reason they originated was because of a set of accounting advances that allowed banks to serve as trusted intermediaries between parties that owed each other money. Before that, literally, I would write you a note and I would promise to pay you money and you'd put the note in your pocket and you'd see if anybody else would take the note. You know, that's why we refer to discounting notes. And then banks arose and it was like, you no longer need to do that. We'll take care of it for you, but you're going to have to pay us to do that. That function of needing a trusted intermediary to maintain ledgers of account to figure out, do I owe Brooks money or does Brooks owe me money? It turns out that function no longer has to be done by human beings. The same way we don't need postal clerks anymore. I can send you an email for free and it's instant and that's just the end of the post office. Sorry, but it just is. That function will go away. What's going to be left for banks is the high value add services, you know, structured finance, investment advisory, you know, all of the things that make a dynamic economy function. We still need people to do that. There's a lot of creativity going on in finance, but the core of banking, the base of the pyramid, the thing that drives most of their revenue doesn't need to exist. And that's why I say, and I was saying to one of the organizers, even before we stood up on this panel, cryptocurrency does not seek to replace currency. It's a bad name. Cryptocurrency seeks to replace banking. Just if you take nothing from this panel but that's what you need to understand.
First, we had the Internet of Information. Now welcome in. The Internet of Value. Know what you hold. Meanwhile, Digital Pound Foundation, 10 million adults in the UK would struggle in a cashless society with the acceptance of cash in decline and digital innovation continue to thrive. It feels like a digital pound is a necessity to avoid worsening of financial exclusion. We got breaking news coming out of Coinbase. New York loves XRP. Exciting news for our New York users. XRP is now available to the New York residents on Coinbase.com and in the Coinbase iOS and Android apps. XRP. We got one from Rathake. Coinmetrics is reinstating XRP in the CMB 10 index. Coinmetrics has reviewed and determined that XRP meets all investability criteria outlined in our CMB multi-asset methodology. As a result, XRP will be reinstated to the CMBI 10 index effective June index review. First Coinbase. Now this XRP coming. XRP drops, Friend Chill dropping the truth bomb. So we don't need a retail CBDC. We have a payment system that could capitalize on the private sector.
So we don't need a retail central bank digital currency. We have a payment system that could capitalize on the private sector. For example, private sector payment stablecoins are a terrific innovation that will become ubiquitous way for people to transact and expand and enhance the dollar dominance of our currency around the world.
Batman bag ladies, the best is still yet to come. Dominoes are falling into place. We're in the last mile. We got Mr. Man XRP Brook and Whistle breaks down XRP Ripple stablecoin workflow.
Benefited from XRP getting, the prices, the value being higher. So how would you address that? And do you have any plans of possibly using stablecoin for in the future for the ODL transactions?
Great, two great questions. Let me take them in that order. They're related but different answers, and I'll link them together. First, remember one of the things we're able to do on the ledger, with ODL is to be able to settle within seconds, and the volatility within those seconds is quite low, and it's demonstrably lower than taking a risk with a fiat currency over a long weekend or a 4-day situation between someone dropping money at a kiosk and it being paid out the other end. Lots of bad things happen between currencies, over a period of multiple days. So we actually believe, that we from it's a tenth in some cases of the risk of some of those longer dated remittance transactions as far as currency risks. But we're focused on it. But that really is the core answer, is just the absolute split second, couple of seconds that the transaction takes. Crypto is volatile. Your point is well taken, and I would never argue otherwise here. And that will be a feature of these digital assets as use cases are figured and come up with and developed over time. We're hoping, and we firmly believe, one of the things about XRP is that it was developed in the early days. One of the key use cases and ideas early on was that it was a terrific digital asset for payments. And, when you have a purpose-built, in some cases, digital asset, and now we're actually using it for that purpose, some of these questions, which are real questions and important, are things that we've been thinking about for a long time. On stablecoins, they do play an important role here. It's not something we're focused on right now as Ripple, but think about them as an off-ramp or on-ramp onto the platform, or anybody getting into cryptocurrencies. And that actually, the more on-ramps that we have that may come from fiat into a stablecoin into a cryptocurrency, to a pure digital asset, that actually is a good thing from a volume standpoint, from people adopting standpoint. So we're watching it closely. Obviously, the question for all these is, what are they backed by? And, how stable are they at the end of the day? And so, it's an important development that we, as you can appreciate, because, we're building, and what Ripple is differentiated by, is we're building an institution, a super nimble global institution in the payments and cryptocurrency space. And so because we're doing that, not just, developing use cases and building them, we have to be thinking about current, innovations that are coming as well. And so, that's one of the beautiful things I talked about earlier about, the Ripple X side of the company, is we're talking about this and thinking about this all the time. And these will develop. And you look back to the first part of this year, think about, the number of people on your show that I'm sure, although, you've got we're building an institution, a super nimble global institution.
A super global institution, XRP, hidden in plain sight. We got 707 crypto. Roger Ver paid David Schwartz's salary to work on the new Bitcoin that didn't involve mining. XRP, faster, cheaper, more efficient.
You're an investor in Ripple and a slew of other companies. I was actually the second person ever
involved in Ripple. So Jed came to me in 2012 after we knew each other through Mt. Gox, and he said, I have an idea on how to make Bitcoin that doesn't require mining. I think mining is wasteful because it uses a lot of electricity. So if we can figure out how to do it without all the mining, that would be great. So I said, okay, that sounds great to me. So I paid David Schwartz his salary, who's still to this day the CTO of Ripple. I paid his salary for the first year or so of him working on Ripple. So technically, you could say I was the second person ever involved in Ripple. So,
wow.
Which is a fun piece of history there as well. So I've never, ever been a Bitcoin maximalist, if you want to touch on that thing. So I've always been a utilitarian maximalist. Whatever's the most useful to the most number of people in the world, that's what I'm going to support.
Yeah, that's the most natural segue.
Utilitarian maximalist. Bitcoin was just a test. Get ready for XRP to go live. Black Swan capitalist, the signs are everywhere confirming that the new gold standard is coming back.
This movement is real. It's growing. And I keep saying to people, you have to understand, these countries are coming together because they want to discard the United States. Not even compete with it. They just want nothing to do with it. They want, in a sense, be able to operate and live off of everything that they can trade among themselves. And the growth of that is going to eventually need some sort of exchange outside of the dollar or even their own currencies. And I have stated that part of this reason is an accumulation led by China, that there's going to be some sort of gold used in some sort of, whether it's digitalized physically against a new currency that's printed or what have you. That's why I still believe this has a ways to go.
We got Stellar Org creating a global financial access is kind of our thing. We're happy to see this cemented. Congrats. We partnered with Braille XYZ to launch Real MXN a Mexican peso bond-backed stablecoin on Solana and Stellar Org. MXNE will transform on-chain payments, remittances, and payroll in Mexico. Stellar. And we got one for Mustache. Altcoins inverse head and shoulder pattern and lots of rounded bottoms in the altcoin season index, which should send altcoins higher very soon. An insanely good sign, which we haven't seen since 2020. We're not ready for what's coming. Bags packed. And taking a look at the altcoin season index, we're currently at a 39. We need to be above a 75 for it to be a full-blown altcoin season. Last time we rose above a 75 was January 2024. With that being said, Batman and Bag Ladies, all of the dominoes are falling into place. It looks like we're approaching the last mile. Let our friend know that the greatest opportunity of multiple lifetimes is still at hand, but the train's left the station. Tick tock, tick tock. Where will those bags be when that regulation jar molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Big bags. Later glitches.
Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it to the moon, pump my bags up. XRP, pump it to the moon. Pump it up, pump my bags up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it up, XRP to the moon. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bag.